Justin Chapman is not here, and I don't know that he has been. Joe Fay, not here. Alderman Ernest Jetty is not here. I understand we'll be having a new representative from the Administrative Services Division, but that person's not currently here.
Yep.
But will join the meeting at some future point. Cheryl Lindner.
Here.
Jennifer McCormick is not here. Nick Miservich.
Here.
Cole Morgan.
Here.
And Gregory Rodriguez is not here. All right, since we're still short of a quorum, Mr. Painter, could you start with the reports?
Yep, I shall do that. All right. Our current balance of the operating account 2505 is $556,379. Our expenses for August, through November, including salaries and facility operations, total $25,769. That is for the month of November. We had 318 cable casts, total of September to November, and of this 104 live events, and this split out to Public 96 at 1, Education 99 at 62, and Government 16 at 45. We had 3,206 playbacks, and this split out to Public 96, 1907, Education 99, 840, and Government 16, 839. The Nashua CTV took home 4 awards in the recent Alliance for Community Media Northeast Festival in November, which celebrates the best in CTV in the New England, New York region. Nashua was one of the only 2 New Hampshire stations to win awards. Pete Johnson and Nashua ETV took home two third place awards. One for single camera event coverage of the 2021 Battle of the Bridge football game, and the second for the NHIAA Division I Girls Basketball Championships. 2 programs submitted by Access Nashua also received awards. Both programs were produced by Dan Young while working for Access Nashua. Under the instructional and training category, third place award went to a program to help guide local children on how to create a peace crane out of paper, and I have a little picture of it there because I wasn't really sure what that was. Access Nashua took home a first place award in the profile talk show category for a profile of Nashua artist Bonnie Gorcio. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Gurcio,
which was produced as one of a number of profiles in conjunction with City Arts Nashua to help promote the 2021 Nashua Art Walk. Congratulations to all who were involved making these award-winning programs. Nashua CTV continues to work with the Department of Public Works as their new facility is taking shape. As Access AV has designed and built our broadcast points at City Hall as well as Public Works' current conference room, we've been working with them to identify what is needed to broadcast meetings from their new conference room. We're awaiting a final quote that will fit within our budget, and we should have that, we don't have this week, but probably by next week, we should have something.
Is there a time limitation as far as when that would have to be approved, that we'd have to have a special meeting to approve
No,
it?
I think we're okay, because you people had approved the 70,000, and we're going to fall within that.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
The new Administrative Services Director, Tim Cummings, has arrived.
Thank you.
okay. And here's the minutes for last week.
All right. Mr. Painter, sorry for interrupting.
Yep. No, that's fine. All right. Over the last 3 months, Dan Young has been working alongside BRB TV, providing continued training and support with their transition. Art Colvin, their studio technical director, has taken a lot of what has been learned from Dan and has begun to expand a couple of programs such as the custom set for Education Matters with Dr. Elaine Holden. Bob Bardis has been learning alongside Art and will often be setting up the studio, that would be camera mics, lighting, etc., for productions. George Russell is now programming the daily schedule and has developed a studio workflow that works for their team. Near the end of the football season, Dan assisted Pete Johnson in developing a coverage method by which the announcer, using Zoom as a window into the game, was able to announce the live game remotely to the local Nashville audience as if he were actually there. Dan also created an updated back-end interface on our switching system to better control instant replays. Dan also produced a new opening for games featuring drone footage shot by Pete Johnson at Stello Stadium. Dan is now working with Nashville Transit to provide an overview of their agency. This will include such subjects as how to ride the bus and both their fixed and demand routes. Dan and Jeff Painter will be collaborating on several projects for the government channel that have been on the back burner and now can move forward in 2023. Our new videographers, Bruce Hillsmeyer and Dylan Smith, have now been fully trained and are contributing daily to our operations. And with the addition of these two videographers, this is why we can move ahead on some of the things we couldn't before on the government channel. So this would be great for the new year. All right, Pete?
All right, so we'll move on to some of the things we've been doing at the education channel. The full numbers were presented earlier, but some of the special things we've worked on during the last quarter include obviously some live coverage of football from Stello Stadium, including first game between North and Bedford back on the 2nd of September. We also did South at Bishop Girton. We recorded several Nashua Public Health Matters episodes in the studio. Let's see if there's anything. We did some volleyball, Battle of the Bridge volleyball, along with girls and boys soccer and football, all during Battle of the Bridge week. It was around the 20th of September. Did another live volleyball game at Bishop Girton High School. So, just looking to see if we can shorten this any. So we did a number of games also in October. We also went over, there was a press conference on the food service director at Nashua South, and that led into doing an eye and education program with the food service director. A couple of additional public health matters episodes, and that started into our coverage of the NHIAA playoffs. We had several contests that were in town and a couple of that were out of town at Exeter High School. That over, getting into November, continued with some additional football. We did the second annual, they're calling it the Panther Bowl now, which was formerly the Powder Puff game for Nashua South High School between the seniors and juniors. And we were up at St. Anselm's College one evening and did a special program on the woman-to-woman conference that was held by the Bishop Girton High School girls basketball team. That's always an interesting evening, so well worth watching if you get a chance. So pass it along to George Russell.
Actually, if it's all right, I think what we'll do is we'll have the votes that we need on the minutes, and then we'll hand it over to Mr. Russell for a while. So starting out, is there a motion with regard to the minutes of the previous meeting?
Motion to accept and place on file.
Motion to accept and place on file. Any discussion of the minutes? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? And I think there's an abstention.
Abstain.
All right, so never have had more abstentions than actual votes in favor of it, but
Just abstaining because I was not present, so I can't.
I think that's the case with
Yeah,
Same.
abstaining, I was not
Yeah.
part of the board.
the new member. No. So the motion does pass.
And just so the person transcribing those, can we give the names of who abstained?
Oh, all right.
Tim Cummings.
Actually, I guess that would be 4 abstentions then. So Tim Cummings,
Steve Buxton.
Steve Buxton,
Cheryl Lindner.
Cheryl Lindner,
Roni Camille.
and Roni Camille. All right. We have no other communications other than the reports, so now we'll go back to Mr. Russell.
It's good to see everybody again. We've been busy, and all of it's been really productive. We've ran 1,907 shows for a total of 975 hours. This is September 2nd till up to December 9th. One of the things that we're looking forward to going forward, and I have had several discussions with Matt from the Nashua Telegraph, who just had 2 operations. He's on the mend right now, but what we talked about back in May and June is live news, and that's going to happen hopefully mid-January, which will be done live Monday through Friday on Channel 96, in conjunction with the Telegraph, local news, entertainment, politics, and some sports. We've got the reporters, we've got the stage. This will be done at the National Telegraph headquarters with our cameras looking out over Main Street, and we've got the logos in the background. So that's going to be really exciting to get news back again. We installed cameras and put them up on the website at the end of August, early September. A Nashua River camera, the Performing Arts Center, and Nashua Main Street South. These are live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And they have been viewed more than I had thought they would be. The Main Street South camera from September 2nd till November 30th was viewed 2,524 times. And there are repeat viewers, of course. 909 unique views since that time, and the average time watching traffic and cars is about 12 minutes and 17 seconds. Big increase there. The National Performing Arts Center 24-hour construction camera. These are available to be watched on brbtv.live. Has been viewed from September 2nd to November 30th, 3,787 times. It has 1,482 unique views to that, and people are hanging around about 10 minutes to watch guys lift stuff and machines happen. And the river camera, which I didn't know was going to get much, but I always had a thought, people are watchers, they'll watch, just look at stuff, and we got a great view of that river from September 2nd till November 30th was 2,563. 1,164 unique within that time period, and they're hanging around about 9 minutes. So those are working out pretty well to see. We did a live walkthrough, which is one of the biggest things for National Public Television, is that we are capable of going live anywhere, anytime right now, as long as there's internet. That is huge for us because I get really excited once I figured it out. A lot of training and technical stuff. First one, of course, debuting was the Winter Stroll. And we had that live on TV for 3 hours. It was great. And I also took street footage in the middle of the road. Unfortunately, about an hour of it, wise guy came by and hit the slow-mo button. So I had to dump that. But we had 3 hours of live. And last Saturday, we went live again for 2 hours at the Breakfast with Santa at the Nashua Senior Center. And boy, what an event that was. And there was quite a few people. And I'm just looking forward to doing more live stuff. It is fantastic. Yesterday, one of the things we've tried to do with the National Public Television and working, because I edit now, and Holland edits, who has for a while, We turn these shows over within 30 hours. If they're recorded, they're on TV, like that, because I am playing a lot of stuff overnight now as well. Thanks to Dan, of course, and Pete for helping me. We are capable of doing and sharing program via the Teleview content. And man, there's a lot of great stuff on there, not just here, but throughout all of public television. So I grab shows from there and we put them on as well. They talk about interesting things as well. So we've added quite a few hours to it and increased our available time slots by about 14 hours, early in the morning and in the evening now. If someone wants that's on the calendar that can book it, which is a big increase in at least available times that can be done. The BRB TV staff can record all of our shows remotely and in studio. We can go live on location. We can edit all recorded video. We can schedule it via the Teleview Hypercaster. I can do the InfoView billboards and of course do the content. So we don't have to put a burden on Dan or anybody else right now. We're rolling. The team's rolling on its own right now and we're banging them out. We've got a lot of shows coming up. We've got some new shows that came in, but we also want to keep those that have been there content with what they're going on. Bob, my partner, who would be here today, but it's his first time he was able to go on vacation in 2.5 years because of COVID. It just fell at that time. Attended the NHCCM Annual Summit in Derry, which was great, and brought back a lot of information on that. With the National Telegraph and the news, you know, Matt's as hungry as I am. Of course, we already know the situation the Telegraph's in, and they're trying to resurrect that as well. They know, and he's the head honcho. He makes all the calls. They've given him 100% confidence on what he does, and we've had 3 hour-and-a-half meetings plus. We played, we pretended, we did everything, and his staff is on board, and we're going to have local news again, like you haven't seen it before. And it's really exciting. He wants to do 3 a day. I said, you'll never pull it off. He wants to do 6 a.m., 12, and 6 p. I'm capable of doing it. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's really hungry right now, though. So that's going to be great. So we'll have people being interviewed, aldermen, departments, all this type of stuff, entertainment, business spotlights and such like that with Harvey Keys. You all know him. A lot of energy, man. And we just shot a great, if you haven't seen a good show, he did one Tuesday, and I had it on air Tuesday evening. It was an hour at the Caribbean Breeze restaurant where that chef made 7 different things, and we went through every one of them. And because I'm able to go on location, I've got a great camera now on a tripod with wheels. You don't know if we're in the studio or not. And then editing with all of the lower thirds, it really looks pro. And wireless microphones that are just like they are in here, so it's crisp. And it's just, it looks great when you're watching it. And we can tell already because I have received emails. I don't know the people that have watched the shows and have said how great they are, especially Elaine Holden's show, which we've known because I've known her for years. So we're getting a response and we're getting people to view and they're watching, and we've increased it quite a bit. So with that, still got a couple more shows that I'd like to do that I haven't got around yet because I have yet to make my appearance on television. I know we're all anticipating that. And that's with the fire department, the police department, and the mayor, which have all agreed to do so. But now that I've found a way to do things remotely, I'd like to go to their locations because Chief Buxton knows how excited I am about new equipment and, you know, bells and whistles and machines. I want to take that on spot and we go through them and like that. So we can go to multiple firehouses and then edit it together. And Chief Rourke, of course, has already agreed to a walkthrough. Those are the things that we're starting to do, though. National Senior Activity Center did one right towards the last part of August, and we started playing in September, was a walkthrough, you know, and because of the editing, we can use closed caption. So everybody, we play these now on the billboards. The billboards aren't dead anymore. It's not just a picture. It's got a video playing or it has audio in the background. Right now, it's got holiday music playing from the station. So if we go from a television show to a billboard, it has holiday music. You're constantly being engaged. We're not leaving you. And I'm back to back these shows, which Pete scolded me on several times because we'd like to get him at the top of the hour. But I'm trying to keep just about 4 or 5 minutes of billboards, then shows, instead of an hour or 2 hours or all night long. That's what we've been doing. So people are, if they go, they're going to go, wow, this is on, that's on, this is on, that's on. After about a 10-day period right now, fresh shows are coming up. I try not to replay as much as we used to from the old days because a lot of things that people are talking about, you know, like all the political shows, We were fortunate enough, again, with Matt, to help me by playing gubernatorial debates and senator debates on television. I didn't know how to do live at the time, but I got it up within 12 hours after him giving it to me. So we played a lot of that, and Carl and Cindy Rosenwald, that I have to use as representatives of both sides of the aisle, really gave us a bunch of television shows to put on, and we played them back to back so we wouldn't have one side leaning to the, and it was pretty successful. I assume they'll all be coming back for doing TV shows, some of them that haven't been getting elected, and they've all told me that they'd like to restart again in January. So we're gonna be really busy. And I just spoke briefly with a Zoom meeting with President Cummings over there, because he's more difficult to get a hold of than the president sometimes. And I met Matt Sullivan and had about a half-hour talk with him. What a great guy, if you don't know who he is, and plans to get them involved with their departments to give the public just info on what they're doing is in the works and will happen. So we can't, the public in Nashua, hopefully in the next 6 months, aren't gonna say we didn't know anything. You're gonna know. Pete Lally has been phenomenal with the National Performing Arts Center. I mean, we did one walkthrough with him already that's been on TV. It was 26 minutes long, and he's said he'll do one with me monthly. So we're scheduled next Friday, another one. This will be a round table on stage, okay? I'm gonna do it live. So it's question and answers, which I'll use the radio for people to email their questions in about the Performing Arts Center concerning shows and that stuff. Nothing about this cost this much and that. That's not what this is about. It's about them giving information. This is what you're paying for. Wait till you see it. If people see that video, they may not be so snarly about what's happening. It is phenomenal engineering that's inside there. I mean, with chairs that back up and everything, and that was a great tour. We went through all the floors. So we'll be doing that monthly all the way up till April 1. Of course, I don't know if Pete's been in there yet, but I will, because they've given us a point where we can do, whoever agrees that we can do their shows live, we'll be able to do them from them according to the artist or whatever's happening. So we're gonna be a big part of that, and that's gonna be good for Nashville. But he is a great man, and we're scheduled to do another one. Everybody's invited here. If you wanna go with us, just meet us over at the Performing Arts Center at 9:30 next Friday morning. You'll get a walkthrough, and then we'll set the stage up and do some question and answering with Pete, just to keep the people informed. We're trying to do that with just about everything going on in the city. I could go on, but that's basically an overview of what's been happening for the last 3 months and what we plan to do for the next 3 months. Lord be willing, of course.
All right, does anyone have any questions for Mr. Russell? Mr. Morgan?
Was there any reason that your report wasn't included in the agenda? Was that on us, or was it not sent ahead of time?
They typically have not ever been on the report. At any rate, it's usually a verbal report.
Okay.
Oftentimes, Access Nashua would present one afterwards that we would send. So.
Okay.
Mr. Painter?
But we can include it. If you send me a report, I'll just
tell Bob.
include it in and we'll do that. All right?
Cool. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. If there are no other discussion of the reports, maybe if someone would like to make a motion to accept and place on file?
Make a motion to
Buxton.
accept the reports, place on file.
There's a motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion passes. All right, we have no purchase requests or anything new on the, under new business, and we had no old business. So, public comment. Dan's shaking his head. All right, remarks by members. Chief Buxton.
Is it possible to get a calendar invite sent out for the recurrence of this meeting so we can get them in our schedules appropriately?
I think that's a good idea, yes.
Great idea. Second that one fervently.
All right, any other remarks by members?
I would just say, Pete Johnson, that I don't think it was mentioned earlier, but the franchise agreement has been signed, and
sent up to the.
Sent up to
the state.
Comcast.
Oh, okay.
So that means at
Everything's
some
been done.
point we'll be getting our HD channel that we're looking to make a sort of a combined channel, the best of all three that are there. There will be likely some cost on our end for some equipment in order to get that channel streamed if we want to do that 24/7 like the other channels are. If it's going to have its own bulletin board, it will need equipment for that. So there may be some upcoming asks for some equipment in order to do that. We'll have to discuss how we want to handle it, but I think we probably want to go so people can watch that online as well. And also have its own bulletin board, so it's not being combined with one of the other three. So.
All right. Any other remarks? If not, I do want to, again, welcome our new members and look forward to seeing you in the future. Perhaps perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Roni Camille. My full-time job is the Media Program Director for the town of Tingsboro. So happy to lend my expertise to the city of Nashville.
Excellent, thank you. And
Yes,
Director Cummings?
yeah, thank you. Tim Cummings, I am, as you may have known me, I'm the current Director of Economic Development here in the city, but I will be transitioning into the Administrative Services Director role, and I look forward to participating in this committee.
all right, welcome. All right, if there's nothing else, is there a final motion?
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.